A lot of stuff to talk about in the last few days in the world of pro wrestling, specifically with Impact Wrestling and AEW, and I'm lumping them together because, as we all know, there's been a lot of crossover between the two over the last, 6-7 weeks now. So a lot has happened I want to talk about. But real quick, just want to remind all the Kliqsters, remember, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, YouTube, all the major podcast platforms. If we're missing one, please email me inthekliq@gmail.com. If you're an Apple Podcast listener, which the majority of our listeners are from there, but please go ahead and leave like a 5-star review, type out a comment, help spread the word, because that helps us with the algorithm. I'm just doing my part, man. Help us help you, help spread the words. That way we can move on up in the rankings in the Apple Podcast world, the podcasting world that it is. And follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Click the link in the bio, get our merch from the Teespring store. Thank you to everyone who's been buying stuff already. So but yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about, like I said. And there, you hold up that Bulletcast Championship.
Hey man, I'm the champion. You have the world heavyweight champion on the show. This is what draws the numbers.
That one right there. Exactly.
This is what I was in Green Bray again today. I'm a traveling world's champion. You weigh 10 times the world's champion. It's a distinguished honor. It's like Flair said. Each and every time I had it, I loved it more and more.
So, what would your response be to Ryback then?
We talked about this last week, bro.
Yeah, I heard you bring it up. So
yeah, bro. Listen, bro. Like championships, they are a true accomplishment. I mean, the dude was the Intercontinental Champion. That's one of the most prestigious titles in wrestling in general. I mean, when it comes to championships in wrestling, you do actually work for it. It's like a promotion.
Yeah.
Like people take. I'm sure Drew. You've had him on the show multiple times. He takes that shit seriously. That
Absolutely.
World title.
Yep.
Nick Aldis. He takes that very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to winning a championship in wrestling, it's an accomplishment. It's an achievement. It's like a Heisman. It's like a Super Bowl ring. It's like an NBA championship ring or trophy or a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I know. Listen, we know pro wrestling. There's predetermined finishes. But there is some politicking that goes on in the background to determine these finishes. So therefore, if you are determined to be the next world champion, it's a big deal because the higher powers that be, management, the company, want you to be the number one person, the face of that company. So it's a big responsibility. So to get that, it takes hard work, determination, paying your dues, putting on great matches. So you do earn it in a way to earn that title, that position, as you said, that promotion. So, and there's a lot of people who take that very seriously. So yeah, anyway, Ryback's comments, and we don't spend too much time talking about it, but I don't know, he just sounds very salty and just sounds like a guy who's pissed off that
he sounds like a guy that wanted to play with the prop.
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like. I mean, the opportunities he's getting are because of the world of wrestling, so I don't know why he would sour on him.
You see Mark Henry's response?
Hey, Mark Henry said he beat that ass.
I know, dude. I love it. If you have a chance, Kliqsters, checking out his response. He called him out, and he says, what's he said? You're salty. No, your fist got sugar. Oh my god, I'm totally spacey.
Bro, look, Mark Henry's theme song says it all. Like you don't want none.
Yeah,
like when 3-6 Mafia does your theme song, that dude's nothing to play with.
Let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh man, there's more follow up on this. Let me see. Oh, he went on Busted Open Radio and said some more stuff. But anyway, he totally called out Ryback and said pretty much, shut up. Yeah, you owe everything to wrestling. And yeah, I'll tell you to your face and beat the S out of you. So I love Mark Henry. I think Mark Henry won over a lot more fans as well, just really defending the business. So, but anyway, I want to talk about first Impact Wrestling. So this past Saturday, this past Saturday was the big Hard to Kill pay-per-view event. It was an event that was definitely generating a lot of buzz for the last few weeks when it was announced Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, was going to be teaming up with the Good Brothers, the current Impact Tag Team Champions, Gallows and Anderson, taking on Rich Swann and the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabian and Alex Shelley. But then last week, or a couple days before the pay-per-view, Alex Shelley was announced he couldn't be part of the show, and Moose was a last-minute replacement. But anyway, a lot of people were getting excited for this pay-per-view for once to Kenny Omega work another promotion outside of AEW here in America. So that was a big deal. And just, a lot of the great matchups and storylines they had going to this. And Philip, I know you didn't have a chance to watch it. I caught most of it on Saturday. It was just a busy weekend of doing other things, but I was able to catch most of it. And so I just want to kind of, touch on it real quick. Just, like I said, it was such a big deal. A lot of people were talking. I think it was very important to talk about it. And also there was a lot of fallout from it and some news that came out from this pay-per-view. And a lot of it is bleeding over into AEW Dynamite that we saw tonight as well. So I just want to touch on it. So the opening pre-show match was Brian Myers, former WWE superstar Kurt Hawkins, defeated Josh Alexander. Josh Alexander, one half of the North. Him and Ethan Page have broken up. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Josh Alexander is a killer, man.
I know.
He is a walking weapon.
I was shocked that he lost. I really thought Josh Alexander was going to get the win and kind of maybe start building up a new singles run for himself, because it looks like he's going to be in Impact for a while. Ethan Page's contract is up and he's on the way out, and he had some harsh words about Impact Wrestling, which I want to get into in a second. So anyway, I was shocked Josh Alexander lost, but anyway, that was on the pre-show. So, and then we saw some more of him fall out on Impact on AXS TV this week. So anyway, I'm just, like I said, good for Brian Myers picking up a victory here. So, and in the opening match, we saw Decay defeat Tennille Dashwood. It was an intergender match. Rosemary and Crazy Steve.
Decay's still a thing?
So they're back or got reunited for this pay-per-view. So, yeah.
Tennille should have won. She's great. I love her. But have you seen my numbers?
Absolutely. And then next up, we saw a six-man tag, Violent by Design, the new stable of Eric Young, Diener, and Joe Doring. They defeated Cousin Jake, Rhino, and Tommy Dreamer. It was an old-school six-man tag team match.
Joe Doring?
Joe Doring.
Future GSW world champion, baby.
Oh, that's right. He's going to be competing on that against Hammerstone, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that would be cool, man.
Doring's my pick because Hammerstone, he don't want none.
With Joe Doring, man, he's been a dominant force in All Japan Pro Wrestling for years.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, they got the big win there, so really establishing this heel faction. Next up, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, a.k.a. known as Fire and Flavor, defeated Havoc and Nieva. What, you like, what's that, flavor?
Fire and Flavor.
Fire and Flavor.
Yes, Kiera Hogan, the only Hogan I actually like.
Yes. So they won, and they're now they won the tournament. It was the finals for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Champions. So they are now the champions. Congrats to them. I think a lot of people were praising this tournament, the crown, or when they brought back the Knockouts Tag Team Championships, they had this tournament, and a lot of people were praising how good it was. So the new tag champions, and they cut a promo afterwards. They put on social media. They called out Tony Khan and said, Tony, this is how you do a women's tag team tournament. Not like the one you did where you just give like participation awards in the form of medals. Dude, if you haven't seen it, you got to watch it. They called out Tony Khan. So, yeah, man. So hopefully it's a work, just to get some, animosity between the two promotions.
Kiera Hogan came for his head?
Yeah, and Tasha Steelz. They both,
Hey, they did have you seen the bust down challenge? We're like, have you seen the one with Tommy Dreamer in them?
Well, he's in the background, right? He was like walking in there. If that's the one,
and then he started dropping it like it's hot, bro.
That's funny. God. I mean, there's been some good ones. Dakota Kai was funny. She was like ready to dance, and then Malcolm Bivens came in and says, "What are you looking at? You're not gonna look at that. Nah, come follow me. Look at me. We're gonna watch some Scooby Doo at WrestleMania." It's
and then Mia Yim tried to do one, and then Keith Lee's like, "Nuh-uh, player.
Nuh-uh.
That's mine."
Yes. It's like. The Mia Yim Keith Lee one was good, but the Dakota Kai one, I was laughing because Malcolm Bivens is like, What are you guys trying to look at? You're not looking at this. Come here. Look at me. Come follow me. And he grabs the camera and says, look at me. We're going to watch Scooby-Doo on a laptop. It was so rad. If you have a chance to bring it up. So, no, hey, congrats to the Knockouts Tag Team Championship. So that's just cool. I think a lot of people have been praising Impact Wrestling. They really have. Arguably the second best women's division in all pro wrestling after maybe NXT and WWE. So anyway, I'm excited for them to kind of defend those belts in the near future. And then Ace Austin and Madman Fulton were in the ring, and a surprise Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder, made an appearance. He came in, they wrestled, and Matt Cardona won by DQ. But so, dude, Matt Cardona, man, post WWE, let him go. He did like the 5 dates with AEW. Now he looks like he's in Impact Wrestling. I saw one thing online that says it's another like short-term deal. It's not like a long-term contract. It's by appearance, I think, as well. So I don't know, Philip. I mean, for you, I'm kind of curious from Matt Cardona. Maybe what's the strategy behind these short deals? Maybe because he was with WWE for so long and stuck under one contract for such a long period of time. I think he's probably at this point, it's like, let me do short-term deals. That way I have the freedom to keep doing what I want every few months. If that makes sense. I don't know.
I guess, man. I mean, honestly, like, it's Zack Ryder. If this was 2011, this would be a big deal. But, it's 2021. He's 10 years too late. Go play with your toys.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's for Matt Cardona. Impact Wrestling is a great spot for him because think about it. AEW, the second biggest company in America right now, they're focusing on bringing up the young talent, people that they're grooming. Matt Cardona definitely, at this point, I don't know how much of a draw he would have with AEW, and they're focused on so much other people on their roster. Impact Wrestling is, I think, a much better spot for him because he can easily be a big fish in a much smaller pond and stand out there and have an impact, no pun intended. So if he, wants to do something long-term there, I'm all for that. I think it's a great spot for him. Next up, Manic, a.k.a. TJP, defeated Chris Bay and Rohit Raju, friend of the Bulletcast, by the way. A great triple threat for the X Division title. So Manic wins, so retains the title there. Deonna Purrazzo also retained the Knockouts Women's Championship against Taya Valkyrie by submission. Another great match. I mean, come on. Deonna Purrazzo has been doing great stuff with her time at Impact so far. Taya Valkyrie, arguably, one of the greatest knockouts in Impact Wrestling TNA's history, with the longest reign ever, if I remember correctly. But I was going to say, Taya Valkyrie, so with that loss, the reports started coming out that her contract with Impact Wrestling is up. And I was going to save it a little bit for the Impact X, or talking about the TV show for this week. So it looks like they're written her off TV, and her future is up in the air right now. We'll talk about that more in a second. Next, we saw probably, I would say, the worst segment of the night. Ethan Page taking on his alter ego, Karate Man. It was their form of a cinematic match. It was pretty ridiculous. It was a super short video package. They looked like, obviously, in front of a green screen in these different scenarios. Really goofy, cheesy, and Karate Man won by ripping out Ethan Page's heart, murdered him, and walked off. So Ethan Page written off completely as being dead. So, and then the reports are his contract is up as well. So where's he going to go up next? But Philip, Ethan Page was really upset. He started shooting hard on Impact Wrestling after this pay-per-view. He went on the Wrestling Figure Podcast Facebook page, and you can read the comments online, but he wrote this big article and said that's not his vision, how he wanted that match to play out. He gave them the video, and Impact Wrestling is the one who edited it and made it look that bad. He just didn't like the outcome of it, how it looked. I mean, I get it from his standpoint. It's probably upsetting. I remember he filmed that way back in November, so I don't know why for like 2 months they've probably been sitting on this, and the way it was edited and it came out the way it was. I guess Ethan Page wanted to see the final product, but Impact didn't let him look at it, so he didn't get a chance, I guess, to edit it or give his viewpoints on it. I understand from his standpoint, he's upset that he didn't get probably the proper send-off he wanted to leave Impact. But at the same time, Impact Wrestling is in charge, and they know he's on his way out, so they probably like, we're gonna have control of this narrative here. So I can see both sides in this. But anyway, Ethan Page, looks like he's done. The North is broken up. the question is, where is he going to go next? I don't know. For Ethan Page, do you know much about his work, or you've been following him much at all? Or, any ideas where he might be the best fit for him?
I started following him a little bit when he was tag champs with Cody at some promotion, I think in Canada.
Oh,
back when Cody was breaking out on the Indies. Hey man, there's a company in Orlando that they'll take you in. If not, there's a company in Jacksonville that'll take you in.
That's interesting. So like,
actually, MLW.
Dude, I mean, MLW is great for like these one-offs. Like you saw Karrion Kross. He did a couple stops there before he officially signed with NXT. So MLW is a great like jumping pad. If you leave one promotion and you just want to maybe do a couple like freelance matches, independent matches on your own, it's a great spot to do that. Get some work in before you sign elsewhere. I mean, I think a lot of people would like to see him maybe go in AEW, because I think a lot of people in AEW are people he's worked with in Impact and whatnot. But yeah, I think he's so good on the microphone. I really think he might be better in NXT. My only question is he willing to move? He lives up in Canada. He has a family up there. I think he's loved the independence to be able to just, live in Canada, fly down whenever he needs to for whatever shows he has. And also keep in mind, he has a big, YouTube presence with his vlog. He does Twitch. So he does a lot of third-party stuff. So I don't know if WWE would be a good fit for him if he have to give up a lot of that stuff or give a percentage to WWE. So AEW might make more sense for him.
That or he could go to MLW. They film a couple weeks worth of stuff, and then everybody gets like a couple weeks off. You do that. Yeah.
So I mean, the thing we keep in mind, it's always now with all these free agents, everyone's like, go to AEW, go AEW. WWE's bad. Well, the thing with AEW, they got such a stacked roster themselves, and it's like, if you're a new person coming in, like, are you going to get enough screen time? Look how many people are already on that roster that are just sitting there we don't see on TV every week. I know Tony Khan recently did an interview, said they are exploring to do a third hour or a separate show, a 1 hour separate show.
It will be called the third hour, confirmed.
Really?
I don't know. I was gonna say,
but you heard that story. Tony Khan wants to do an extra hour, a separate show.
Yeah, Cody on Jericho's podcast, he said it's coming.
Okay, so I don't know, where would it be? I mean, TNT under the Turner Warner Brothers networks. Could it be on TBS?
Yeah, put it on TBS. Why not?
Saturdays,
right after the Go Big Show. Saturdays at 6:05. What?
Dude, go old school, like NWA, WCW. So I'm all for that. I mean, but keep in mind, TNT or the sister stations, they got True TV, they got a bunch of networks under that Warner Brothers, Warner Media umbrella. So and also HBO Max, maybe it could be streaming on HBO Max somehow, or Fight, or what's the other one? BR Live, Bleacher Report Live. So there are options, but yeah, it is coming, and I'm excited for that, because outside of Dynamite, outside of AEW Dark is really for like the green, young people performers. Being Elite is more of like, the vlog reality show. So I think for them, if they get a separate, like, strong, dedicated wrestling show, that's going to be great to really flesh out some more of these storylines and give some of these wrestlers more screen time. So I'm all for that. So we shall wait and see. Also, real quick, just want to run down. Eddie Edwards defeated Sami Callihan in a brutal barbed wire massacre match. Dude, it was hardcore. It was good. Really enjoyed it. So if you're into like the hardcore stuff, check that out. Last but not least, the main event saw Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers defeat Rich Swann, Chris Sabin, and Moose. Dude, Philip, Moose was like the star of this match.
Moose has been a star since Ring of Honor. Like that vertical drop kick from a man that size. Rich Swann, he looks much older than he actually is. I don't. Maybe his black cracked. I don't know. The dude's 29. He looks 45.
Yeah.
Way to bury your champion, Impact.
That's what I was going to ask you. So the finish was Kenny Omega, the AEW World Champion, pinning Rich Swann, the Impact World Champion. A lot of people online were very critical and be like, whoa. How can you let someone from an outside promotion pin your world champion clean? I don't know. I mean, for me, I was like, this is a way to get good heat on Kenny Omega and lead to a further match between Kenny Omega and Rich Swann down the line. And I'm thinking they're going to wrestle. Kenny Omega's probably going to defeat Rich Swann, become the Impact World Champion. So start really building up the belt collector gimmick. And then maybe down the road, Moose can be the one to challenge Kenny Omega.
I mean, didn't Moose challenge Rich Swann to a winner-take-all match?
So on Impact this week on AXS, they had a face-off in the ring, and they definitely they're going to wrestle each other. Moose is still going around with the old TNA World Title.
I love it. I never want him to lose. He just needs to do that for the rest of his career.
So I think they're going to eventually have a match to unify the two. So it's coming. So I don't know. Maybe it could be a triple threat with them two along with Kenny Omega. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But Moose in this match, dude, he hit a standing moonsault. He also did, I think it was a Spanish fly in the match. Dude, just the spots he did in this match were awesome. It was a very fun match overall. But the big thing also, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, they came out to the ring wearing Bullet Club gear. Kenny Omega had a Bullet Club like pumpkin themed shirt. The Good Brothers had Bullet Club on all over their gear and their pants. I'm like, whoa, how'd they get approval to do that? So
they didn't.
Well, it makes me wonder, is there really a deal being developed behind the scenes between Impact, AEW, maybe New Japan, to allow them to use the logos on another promotion like that?
I have no idea, man, but I'm excited for all of it. I can't wait to see what's going to happen.
I know Tama Tonga, he keeps calling them the Bootleg Club. He's like, that's not the real Bullet Club, that's the Bootleg Club. These elite guys trying to steal our gimmick in America. He is right.
I don't know. You got Carl. He was an originator of it. You got Gallows.
Yeah.
As much as I don't like Kenny, that was one of my favorite eras of the BC.
Yeah. The star power of the Bullet Club are no longer in Japan. They're all in America now. You think about it. Kenny Omega, Cody, all the elite guys, even the guys in WWE, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Adam Cole, like all the big names from the Bullet Club in the last 5 years are all in WWE or AEW now. So it really shows that Bullet Club has really just taken over all the wrestling world right now. But no, like I said, great main event to Hard to Kill. And it makes you wonder, man, if Bullet Club is being seen on other promotions, is something in the works. So we shall wait and see. But also I want to touch on AXS TV this week, Impact show. It was a lot of fun. There was a lot that happened. This was the Fallout episode, obviously, from Hard to Kill. I really thought they did a great job wrapping up the stories from Hard to Kill, but also setting up new storylines. And so if you haven't yet watched the episode, it's a lot of fun. The big thing, though, was the Good Brothers were in the ring celebrating their win. All of a sudden, Matt Hardy comes out with Private Party. Actually, excuse me, I take that back. Chris Sabin comes out and says, hey, we deserve another title shot against your tag titles. And he's like, well, Alex Shelley's not here. So James Storm comes back. He's going to align himself with Chris Sabin, and they want to match that night.
James Storm?
Storm.
Sorry about your damn luck?
Yes, he is back in Impact Wrestling.
That's my guy, man.
And then Matt Hardy comes out with Private Party. So total AEW invasion, it looks like it's coming in. So they're coming in, and they want a title shot as well. So at the main event for this show was going to be Chris Sabin and James Storm taking on Private Party, and the winner becomes the new number one contenders for Impact Wrestling. So very exciting stuff there. Also, we see Taya Valkyrie. It was confirmed after the investigation by Tommy Dreamer and stuff that Taya Valkyrie was the one who shot Johnny Bravo in that goofy storyline. So anyway, Taya Valkyrie got arrested by police. They were taking her out. Tommy Dreamer says hopefully she goes to a prison in Jacksonville. Worst case scenario is a prison up in New York or Stanford. And then one of the other guys said, or even worse, you can go to a prison in Baltimore. So it's like, Ring of Honor. So Ring of Honor is based in Baltimore. So anyway, Jacksonville, obviously AEW, up north, WWE. So they're all alluding to what her future can be. So on the way out, being escorted by police, Rosemary confronts her. They have a big hug and they take her out, man. So it looks like they've written off Taya Valkyrie completely from Impact Wrestling. The rumors are her contract is done. Philip, where do you think she should go from here?
How they gonna write her off like this is an episode of Days of Our Lives, man?
It was like a soap opera, man.
It was a novella. I mean, she loves the Mexican nature of wrestling. That's what she came up on. I don't know, man. I mean, obviously the easiest thing to do would be to go to WWE. I mean, her husband's there. It just makes sense because the NXT Women's Division they could use. Actually, no, it's scratch that. Put her on the main roster.
See, that's the thing with Taya Valkyrie, with her background and her success in other promotions. You know, Lucha Underground, Impact Wrestling down in Mexico as well. You would think it would make sense for her to go to WWE, be with her husband, reunite there, either go to NXT because NXT has, you know, arguably the best women's division in the whole world. So she could probably have an impact there, or maybe bump her up right away to the Raw and maybe she can be, you know, in the mix with Miz and Morrison, just be kind of like their valet / female presence for that faction. So it could work.
I wouldn't do that. I'd keep her away from them. Let her be her own entity.
Well, that's the thing. The Royal Rumble is coming up, so maybe she can make an appearance in the Women's Royal Rumble match. That might be something as well.
That would be dope.
I mean, sure, she can go to AEW, but that women's division is so bad right now. I mean, she can go and...
You know what she does? She goes to NWA, and she'll get more TV time on AEW.
Works for two promotions. Now, my thing is, like, sure, she can go to AEW and maybe start helping that women's division out. So, like, be a big fish in a small pond there and really try to help that division out and make it better. But, you know, for her, maybe at this point in her life and career, she maybe wants work for the biggest company in the world and work with her husband. So I think WWE might make more sense for her.
Absolutely. Or you know what? That third hour, maybe that could just be the woman's hour.
I mean, with AEW, I mean, they really got to step up with the storylines. They have to fill up a full hour's worth every week.
Just bring in Taya Valkyrie. It'll all work out.
It'll be interesting, man. I think with NXT could be great because there's a lot of great matchups that she can do there. But even, you know, Raw or SmackDown, there's some good stuff there she can do as well. I mean, I saw people online be like, oh, why she should go to WWE? She'll just start jobbing out to Charlotte Flair, which, come on, not necessarily going to happen. But
hey, man, I don't know. Charlotte Flair is the Drake of the women's division.
Yeah, she is.
You know?
She is one of the best. You know, it should be interesting what's her decision, where her heart says. But like I said, it's the timing's always great when these wrestlers' contracts are up in January and it's like Royal Rumble season's here. So like, could we see something in the Royal Rumble? So we'll see how it goes. And I'm sure, you know, wherever she goes is going to be very awesome there. So looking forward to that. Also, I just want to touch on, let's see, I'm just looking here. Taya Valkyrie, Ethan Page. I got that already. Just looking at my notes real quick. Lastly, also, so for Impact this week, they also announced Rebellion's going to be their next pay-per-view on Saturday, April 24th. In the logo for Rebellion, they have the Omega symbol in there, so I think it's obviously a sign that Kenny Omega is going to be part of the show. And then also on Impact, we saw... it looked like footage from after their win Saturday night. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers and Don Callis said they're going to take the night off and go celebrate. And they said they're going to go to Jacksonville to take care of some business, which will lead to what we saw in Dynamite this week. But Impact was a lot of fun. Like I said, between Matt Hardy and Private Party showing up, Taya Valkyrie being written off, being arrested. Let's see. I'm trying to double checking what else happened. Tony Khan cut another commercial. This time, Jerry Lynn was next to him, and he's buying more airtime, promoting what's going to happen on AEW Dynamite this week. But then he said he wanted to come to the Impact Zone and see for himself the main event. And sure enough, it shows Tony Khan and Jerry Lynn were in Nashville at the Impact Zone. So they see him walking out, and it looks like they're going to go sit ringside. So it's very cool to kind of see them there in presence. As I mentioned earlier, Rich Swann and Moose had a face-off, and they're going to have a match coming up. And then main event time. So it was Private Party taking on James Storm and Chris Sabin. Great main event. I thought Private Party looks great. And Jerry Lynn actually interferes and costs James Storm and Chris Sabin the match, and Private Party wins. So Private Party and AEW Tag Team is now the new number one contenders for the Good Brothers in the Impact Championships, Tag Team Championships. So, dude, Philip, this crossover is so getting kind of convoluted a little bit. All these guys crossing over. A question I had for you, and I put this up on Twitter last night, so that's why you should please follow In The Kliq on Twitter. What happened, hypothetically speaking, do you think Tony Khan should try buying Impact Wrestling and try and make that their own developmental show / brand, what NXT is to WWE and Raw specifically? Do you think Impact Wrestling should be that for AEW, a place for their talent to go and get some more screen time and ring time?
Buy their women's division.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I want to. Yeah, just buy that.
That's all you really need, man. I mean, I don't know. Does he want to really put? I mean, he has the money. He could do it theoretically, but I don't know if he wants to get involved with that. I don't know. It's gonna be one of those times, one of those things that really has to just kind of manifest. We'll see where the partnership goes.
Yeah, we're still in the early stages of this whole thing, and I'm curious how it's going to play out. So it should be fun. It's where's next for Impact and AEW, and where's it going to lead. This is still far from over. I think they're going to still do more stuff in the next Impact pay-per-view, and we see a lot more happening on Dynamite this week. So I'm still excited for this partnership between the two and what these two rosters can do working together. So Impact Wrestling, a lot of stuff this week I really did enjoy. And honestly, I think their show on AXS was much better than Dynamite this week.